So here's an interesting question for all of you. Could the Federation from Star Trek stop an Ork War? Like, could they stop the Orks? Like, let's say the Orks existed in the Star Trek timeline. Doesn't matter. Like, doesn't matter which timeline, whether it be Kirk, Cisco, whatever. Like, let's say the Orks are now in the Star Trek universe, and they are just tearing ass across the galaxy, fighting whoever they want, because that's what they do. So, my question to all of you is, like, could the Orks actually, like, pose that big of a threat to the Federation? Now, obviously, they'd love to fight the Klingons, they'd love to fight the Romulans. I don't know if they could reach the Borg, but they'd probably like to fight them too. And I don't know, just side tangent real quick, I don't know if, like, they could honestly assimilate the Orks. I don't know if Borg could assimilate Orks, because it's a lot of matter that they could, it's just, there's nothing there they could probably assimilate. Also, I don't know if they want like an Ork brain in their collective. I don't think they'd want that. Furthermore, again, it's just probably too far. But again, you know, Speed Boys probably will zip across all the way to the Delta Quadrant if they heard there was a good crumpin'. Anyway, so what would it be like if the Federation heard that, like, we basically have a War of the Beast situation where the Orks are, you know, marching on, you know, they are just tearing ass towards, you know, through the Alpha Quadrant and towards Earth. Could the Federation hold their own in a battle with the Orks? That's kind of a big question. Now, ground combat is going to be very difficult because the Federation isn't an army. Even, like, you could even say, oh, well, Mako or Section 31 could hold their own against the Orks, when in reality that wouldn't be the case either. Yeah, Mako doesn't exist, like, depending on the timeline, it wouldn't matter because Mako wasn't that big. And Section 31, while they do have a lot of experimental weaponry, it's not going to matter because, well, Orks are going to Ork. Sometimes that's just the proper answer, is sometimes an Ork is gonna Ork. And there's nothing really you can do to stop it. So, the whole thing with this, you have to understand, is that the Orks are going to be absolutely brutal in ground combat. The Federation, while they are, you know, the Federation is more than capable of defending itself, and we do know from history that, like, they've managed to hold their own against the Romulans and the Klingons and the Dominion. The big thing is that ground combat was never the Federation's biggest asset. You know, it was, like, on ground, these guys would have phasers, rifles, things like that, and military, you know, and some military tactics, but the Federation predicates itself on explorers and science first and foremost. So that's kind of the big thing that the Orks are gonna, like, the Orks are gonna see him as just squishy boys and just, you know, pop them like pimples. Because, yeah, they could equate in early conflicts with the Orks that the Federation would probably view it as, you know, these, you know, try to reach out, try to speak to them, but all they're going to hear is, whoa! And that's the only answer they're going to basically get in this whole goddamn time frame. That's all they're going to get from the Orks is just one big wah, and realize what a wah is. Now, like I said, the Orks in ground combat, these guys would be unmatched in, the Federation could probably kill a lot of them, but the Orks and their DACA are something to behold. You know, Orks are just bigger, stronger than your average human. And yes, while the Federation predicates itself on having other races, and we'll get to that factor in a minute, is that the Orks are basically going to just dominate them on the ground every chance they get. Now, yes, those they do have, the Federation does have better technology to fight the Orks, but here's the thing. Orks can take a lot of punishment, and they can believe a lot of things, like, I believe that didn't shoot me. So, you have that going for you. Now, ship-to-ship combat is going to be a much different answer. Because here's the thing. Ship-to-ship combat, when it comes to Ork ships, which are big and powerful, the big thing is they're no match for, like, the Enterprise D Sovereign class ships. You know, the Sovereign class ships, or any kind of ships bent for war, like the Defiant class, those ships are going to be, even like basic Federation ships could hold their own. Better technology, better shields, and faster warp drive. These, like, here's the thing. I know, like, some people make this argument as, like, oh, Warhammer can win because it's Warhammer. No. You actually, like, look at the, like, you look at all the stuff in it. It's old, archaic garbage. The only thing the Imperium has against it is, like, having Space Marines and, you know, they have, like, there's no real technological competition. The Eldar and Necrons the Necrons are busy fighting each other, and much they are fighting everyone else, and still waking up, and the Eldar are on the way out. So, really, the only... And the Tau are still, like, in their infancy of their empire. So there isn't really, like, a technological opponent that could match the Imperium, or, in this case, the Orks. That's not the case here with the Federation. The Federation are dealing with better technology. It's not archaic, and they're constantly evolving. They're constantly changing their technology, and I guarantee you, the other thing the Federation has is, like I said, unity among species. Time to take out that pin and talk about it. You see, with the Federation, they have this thing of cooperation and community. One ship could be captained by a human, another an Andorian, another a Vulcan, and all of those captains are going to have different strategies on how to fight your opponent. So the Orks are not going to realize, like, they're going to realize real fast that they're not going to be fighting a same military doctrine every time. Now, is that going to bother the Orks? It might, but at the same time, it's going to make them go, they're fun to fight. That's the thing, is that the Orks are going to, like, still want to fight. But remember when I said, like, the, the Federation is really damn good at science? Let's take that pin out. When they realize that the Orks can grow from dead bodies of the slain Orks they've killed, they're going to invent something to essentially poison the Orks and not use an exterminatus to blow up a planet. They're just going to create, like, a gas or something to plant in the soil to basically poison what can create Orks from the bodies of others, like the original mushroom form of the Orks. And that's going to stifle the Ork tide. Is it going to permanently take it out? No, maybe not, but it'll definitely cripple them enough where the Federation can get their, get a better footing and fight faster against the Orks. And here's the thing. Once they realize that the Orks are not going to, go to the, table to talk, yeah, the if you guys have seen the Dominion War, the war with the Romulans, you'll probably understand that, like, the Orks don't do this thing called, the Federation don't do this thing called half-ass a war. They will finish that war, and if they recognize that the Orks are, like, a Borg-level threat, they're gonna wipe them out. They're gonna just bitch slap the Orks every time, and the Orks are going to be like, this is going to be a good fight. So, yeah, I think how it will probably go is that at first, the Orks are going to, like, dominate planet after planet after planet, but the Federation are going to be able to keep up with them in terms of ship combat and excel at it, and also be able to rescue Federation systems. And on top of that, their science is going to allow them to just probably destroy what makes Orks. So yeah, I do, at the bottom, I think the Federation could defeat the Orks. So yeah, but you guys tell me in the comments below, who do you think would win in an open war between the Federation and the Orks? Do you think the Federation could hold their own, or do you think the boys are gonna, crump the whole galaxy? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.